UNH Works is our campaign to persuade the legislature to restore support for our public colleges and universities. I encourage you to learn about this campaign and even to sign up to be advocates for UNH Works, which you can do at unh.edu/works. With your help, we will carry a strong and unmissable message straight to the State House in Concord. This campaign is new ground for us. In fact, its scope and intensity is unprecedented for the university system. But our challenge in the legislature has also been unprecedented. This campaign is about showing our state's elected leaders that keeping UNH affordable and accessible is critically important, not only to thousands of students and their families, but to all of New Hampshire. Here's some background, and please forgive me if you've heard this before, but I have to say it out loud occasionally because it's so unbelievable that I have to remind myself that it's true. But in 2011, the New Hampshire Legislature cut funding for UNH by nearly 50%. That was the deepest single cut to public higher education in American history. I repeat, that was the biggest single cut to public higher education in American history, period. I like setting records as much as anybody, but we all have done without that one, I think. We now receive just 6% of our budget from the state. That is the lowest level of support per capita for public higher education in the nation. And if you doubled it, if you doubled that support, we'd still be dead last, which is sort of putting things in perspective. Now consider this. New Hampshire enjoys one of our nation's lowest unemployment rates. We are also consistently ranked as having one of the nation's healthiest economies, an economy that depends in large part, by the way, on innovation-driven productivity in the existence of a highly skilled and educated workforce. Does it make sense then that a relatively well-off state like New Hampshire, whose greatest resources are skilled workers and its innovation-driving colleges and universities, should slash support for public higher education? Think about that for a nanosecond or two, or however long it takes you to process. From any perspective, from the perspective of the business community, from the perspective of the broader public good, from the perspective of Allie's parents, the answer is no. It doesn't make any sense. No one who knows anything about economic development thinks that the way to prosperity is through disinvestment from education. Not surprisingly, then, independent experts who study New Hampshire's economy, demographics, and policy say that New Hampshire must invest in higher education to remain competitive with other states and to promote sustainable growth. Let me quote from a recent report by the New Hampshire Center for Public Policy Studies entitled "From Tailwind to Headwind, New Hampshire's Shifting Economic Trends." Its concluding statement reads, and I quote, "States and regions other than New Hampshire are undertaking public policy initiatives to pursue more economic growth. These policies range from investing in post-secondary education and training and research and development to targeting specific industries in recruitment strategies," close quote. If I were to write the same sentence about New Hampshire, it wouldn't have us doing those things, and the consequences, I think, would be predictable. Perhaps you read the story in Foster's Daily Democrat last week, which began, and again I quote, "A report showing declines in state funding has the National Science Board concerned about whether major research universities in the country, including the University of New Hampshire, will be able to provide affordable quality education and training to its students enrolled in science programs," end quote. As you can see, experts well outside the UNH community point to an investment in higher education as an important tool, a critical tool in developing the talent that supports the economy.